Hi guys, this is a bit of a different video. I wanted to give you a look at the Thorin Oakenshield and Royal Armour that I did as a custom and posted on Figurerealm. If you wanted to check that out, it's figurerealm.com, and then obviously look for Lord of the Rings or Hobbit Customs and you'll find me under Deaditor, spelt with an O at the end of the name, so it's Deaditor rather than ER. Okay, so I'm going to have a little look at my custom that I made from scratch of Thorin Oakenshield and the Throne of Thror. So this is the throne. I made this out of polystyrene, and pretty much the way I did it, I was making it from cardboard originally, but then I changed to polystyrene. Pretty much what I did, if you look at the back, I pretty much just cut out each shape of each part. So starting with the seat, I got a Sharpie, drew onto the polystyrene to get the outline of that, and then that bit, etc. Around and around, kept going and going or whatever, and then cut it out and then cascaded it, so it or layered it or whatever, as it were. So it was bit by bit, and it came out very well, in my opinion. And then if there were any damaged parts or bits missing, I used Milliput, which is this really good, it's German I believe, really good German clay, it's epoxy resin, which you can use to fix anything from boats, holes in boats, to damages in your car and sort of things like that. And I buy Milliput black because it means you can use black rather than a big horrible yellow, which you have to then paint over, and if it chips then you've just got black underneath and you can paint over it very easily. So the throne has two steps, some armrests, and the Arkenstone fixated on the top, and it's part of this, not too much structural integrity or variable, but it is attached to a column, and the outline part there and there are made out of plastic, which I literally cut out into the correct shape twice, and then the little bit of detail here and here are sculpted out of Milliput. All of these were sculpted from scratch in Milliput. I quite like the step there because I just literally got a knife and slit around the polystyrene and chiselled out a step essentially. And then this part here and this part here are also Milliput, and it's come out quite nicely. Now the crown piece, or the centrepiece rather, is the Arkenstone, and the Arkenstone I made out of 2 beads from a jewellery set or something. I just bought it online because I thought that would be a good idea. And then this obviously has been cut out and then painted around, so it's got the pattern. Now the way that this works, it's hard doing it on camera. The way this works is that I've left, using a leg joint or something, I left a little hole here, and then 2 pieces of plastic either side to keep the Arkenstone in place. Now, the Arkenstone is said to be a large white jewel, as Ken Stott said, a large white jewel, but unfortunately white does not show up very well on the camera, and actually what came up better was blue, and you can see the super glue that's crystallised in there, and it's kind of made a little pattern in it, which I think is quite cool. But yeah, the way it works is it just pops in there. Like so. And it catches the light, as you can see very well. Now Thorin, you can get to just bend his legs up. Now he never got to have the Arkenstone on the throne, of course, but there we go. You can just place some lasers on the throne there. Anyway, so let's have a look at Thorin next. So here he is, Thorin Oakenshield, king under the mountain, heir to Thror, son of Thrain. Okay, so this one I'm super pleased with. I sculpted all of this that you see. You can use layers of plastic, that cascade over each other. But yeah, I basically took a Thorin Oakenshield figure, which it's just this figure, removed the tunic, and then took a kilt, the metal plate skirt, chainmail skirt from, I believe it was a Coronation Aragorn, and then everything else I hand sculpted all this armour, and then used bits of plastic as well that I just cut out the right shape, and then I've aged it in the colouring. What I'm really pleased with is the I managed to maintain the articulation. I didn't want to. These little elbow pieces. They're a separate piece, so they're on a little swivel because they're on a rope, little string bit. But what I did was I sculpted underneath the gauntlet, and then I sculpted on top of it so that you can rotate this 360. You don't lose any of the articulation, and there's detail underneath. Nothing was lazy about this custom. Everything had to be sculpted, detail. I had to sculpt 4 ravens, and that's not easy. And then the legs, again, I had to sculpt all of this detail. I actually used some black cat legs because they were much better fit. I just stuck them on the bottom there, as you can see. And there's detail all around the back, with the little bit of gold chainmail that goes around the edge of the regular silver one. And I don't know how you can see it, but I sculpted this buckle. There's 2 ravens there, but I've got all the rivets in the right place and stuff like that because I enjoy my detail. The cloak, this is taken from a Gimli. This Gimli part. This part of the cloak. And then the fur is the same fur I used for my Dane Ironfoot custom. Now the crown I took off I sculpted most of it, but I've taken it from the Thror decapitated head and then repainted the parts that were a bit slapdash, and also made it so it matches the sheen and colour of the shine of the crown, the armour itself. And it's come out very well. So I have an alternative head, which is Thror. And again, I just took a Thorin Oakenshield, painted his face a bit pinker, because Thor just looks like that, I guess, and then did the detail on the beard and the plaits in the beard and the moustache I stuck on from the Thor head, and so there's the back of the hair and the ears and the jewellery in the side of the head, and you just place the crown on top of them there. You can just swap the heads out nice and easily. And there he is, King Thor, the king under the mountain. So I made alternative heads, and you can place Thorin's head. I place him on the Battle of the Five Armies custom I did for him. This is his final costume. I actually need to add some straps there and there because the belts are the same. Again, I've sculpted that from scratch. It's a couple of raven heads and the claws and everything, and the tails. My Thorin head, I took Gandalf's Battle Gandalf's hair and added it to this, and then sculpted it over in places so that it matches, including the ponytails and the braids and the hair and everything, and also it just makes it a bit easier to move around and stuff, because the other one can't really move his head. But this one was one of the earliest things I posted online. But I've swapped out with Gimli gloves from the Coronation Gimli, and added some articulation to the wrist with a swivel there. But so that's that. Now onto the weaponry. Now King Thor and Thorin Oakenshield both use the same sword and shield because they're the royal shields and swords, so they must have plenty of them. Now the shield itself, here it is, all the detail, is made from a piece of plastic which I cut out into an octagon like that, and then I bent in several places and cut a hole in the middle, and then I stuck on a Boromir handle from his shield, and then I literally, everything you see now is sculpted. Painted all the details, sculpted ravens 4 times, all their feet and their wings and all the little rivets around there, and the detail in between on each little part that goes to the edge. It took forever to do, just to get the decent looking shield, and it's come out incredibly well in my opinion. So that's that. Now the sword again took a very long time to do. It's again sculpted onto plastic. You got your detail in the pummel there, and then you've got the 4 sides, or 2 sides of Raven heads outside, the detail in the sword there. You know, it's sharp and passes very well for a real thing. Little keyhole part in there. And yeah, I was very pleased with how they came out. But yeah, that was just a little look at Thorin Oakenshield and Thror. One thing I will also say is that one change I made to the other Thorin Oakenshield, just basic figure, is the shield. If you just take a couple of spare straps, and if you have a spare Thorin Oakenshield, you can fill in the hole that it has in his arm with a part from another one, so that both the wrists are the same. And then you just take a couple of straps, stick them on there, get rid of the peg, and you can just slide that over his arm, line it up, and he's got his proper shield. And so when it gets dropped and left by the eagles at the end of the first film, it doesn't look stupid with a big peg sticking out of it, and he doesn't have a massive hole in his arm for the next film and a half. So yeah, that was a nice little quick look at my customs. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it was informative. If you want to try and make your own one and copy my idea, feel free. And thanks for watching.